Wow. I don't think I can live up to that. I think I'm kind of in trouble because you made me sound cooler than I really am.
Oh, no, of course not.
I'm kind of a boring guy from South Dakota. But the one thing I do want to talk about is I hate podiums and I hate microphones. So I'm going to leave the podium and the microphone because I don't want to give an Oscars award nomination speech. I just want to come out and talk. So I think I'm really going to mess up your filming here in a second. I'm what you call a wanderer. I wander around. So here we go. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me in the back?
Yes, I can.
You can hear me in the back? I can project. We want to talk about communication. I can project. So that's one thing I'm really good at. My name's Alan. I'm originally from Minnesota. You might not have noticed I'm a gringo. I tried to leave that at the airport and they didn't take it, so it's now following me around. Basically, I am here to talk about intercultural diversity and intercultural communications between business workings, you and the rest of the world. I've had the opportunity to spend time in China, Europe, the Americas, all over. I've been blessed with the gift of travel. I love it. And one of the things I've picked up along the way is an ability to talk to people. And I love talking to people. I brought with me my brother. This is my brother Brian. According to him, he's the better looking one of the two of us. So I bring him along so in case I say something stupid, you can just gaze at his beauty and forget I said something stupid. He's kind of like my trophy brother. But he's down, him and I are down here, and we've actually spent the last couple of days talking to people. And that's what I'm going to root my speech today in, is talking to people. In fact, Dr. Pena, who, by the way, all I wanted to do was go to lunch. So whatever this is wasn't supposed to be this. I sent him an email and said, I'm going to be in San Juan. Let's go to lunch. This is his idea of lunch. So I've looked up on Google lunch in Spanish. And to me, I can't find where it says talk to 50 students. It doesn't. Even in Spanish, lunch means sit at restaurant, drink cerveza, and Cuba Libres. That's what I wanted to do. But no, this is what I get to do. So, he asked me one question. And I know professors love to ask questions that people can't answer. It's a game we play. We look at people and say, okay, I'm going to embarrass you. What's my middle name? You're a student. You should know this. Did you not study? Wow, that's a professor for you. He did it to me. He asked me a question that I can't answer and get out of this room alive. He asked me, what do you think of Puerto Ricans? Really? Really, that's the question you ask. What do I think of Puerto Ricans? What do I think of Puerto Ricans? I've never been here. First time I've been to Puerto Rico was stepping off the plane 2 days ago. How can I answer that question? But we answer that question all the time. We answer that question and it's never asked. Nobody asks us questions, but I guarantee when you see people, you think of them. And you think thoughts of them based on what? What do you think thoughts of people on? You.
Stereotypes.
Stereotypes. Are they correct? That's a trick question, by the way. You can't, you know what? You can't answer that. Because they are. Stereotypes come from truths. But they're a mass generalization of a broad base of people based off a lot of truths and inaccuracies and rumors. So when you ask somebody, what you think of somebody, the first thing that pops into your head is what you know about them based on what you've heard. The only Puerto Rican I've really gotten to know in the last few months is him at a conference. So what I think of you is I think you all run around taking 1,000 pictures of everything you see, because that's what he did. So I'm just assuming every Puerto Rican has a camera, and you just walk around going, that's awesome, look at that, Mount Rushmore, people, white guys, white girls, another Puerto Rican, what are you doing in South Dakota? But we base our thoughts of other people on what we know from the worst possible situations. We learn from people on TV. Not really the brightest people in the world. And they tell us what we think of other things. We learn from people that we meet. We learn from people that other people meet. My wife used to teach at the University of Sacred Heart here in Puerto Rico. What's it? In Spanish. That's what, you know what? That's where she came down. She came down here every week for a year to work on a project at that university. And she came back, and the first thing, my wife eats nothing, okay? You know my wife, Brian, don't you? Have you ever seen her eat food? I don't know how she's alive. I have no idea. She eats nothing. And she likes nothing. Everything tastes bad. So what do you think she came back from Puerto Rico and told me? What do you think she told me about Puerto Rico? Where do you think my first stereotype came from? Food's bad. That's all she said. She got back home and she's like, you're going to Puerto Rico? The food's terrible. I'm like, okay, you're a reliable source. Have we not had the best food ever? Oh, I have gained so much. I was her size when I got here. I really was. I mean, I was fit. I looked like Brad Pitt. I walked through Old San Juan, and I came out the other end 150 pounds heavier. I don't know what happened. I didn't really do a lot of walking. I went from restaurant to restaurant, drinking and eating. But I get back to the hotel, and I call my wife. I'm like, you on drugs? The food's amazing. I love the food. In fact, all we're talking about, my brother and I, is where we're eating next. We're sitting at a restaurant, looking across the street at another restaurant, thinking, hey, maybe we'll go there next. Maybe we'll be there in about 20 minutes. Maybe we can finish this and start something new. So, basically, our information that we receive on other people is always not as accurate as we would like it to be. So the question I'm asked, what do I think of Puerto Ricans? Well, here's me. I've been a lot of places. I spent a lot of time in the air. I travel quite a bit. I give a lot of seminars in a lot of different places. And I'm always trying to figure out people, because that's what we do. You want to figure out people. So when I think about this, I think I must not be the only one curious enough to try to think about people. I think you all do too. I think you're all curious about who you meet and what they're like. So I came up today with an idea. How do we get past stereotypes and move on to strong, beautiful communication where we actually get the truth? How do we get there? And this sounds difficult. When I put it that way, it sounds, how do we get from what I hear and what I see and what I think to what I know? How do we do that? Does anybody have any idea how we do that? You go for it. I'm going to pick on you.
Meeting some other cultures or other people.
That's it.
Or as you.
The answer is unbelievably simple. Meet them. Talk to them. Ask people questions. People are afraid to ask people questions. Why are we afraid to ask another culture questions? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say people are afraid to ask another culture questions? Why is that? Who should I pick on next? I'm just going to make this into a roulette table, and you guys are just going to be on the hot seat. You. Yeah, you. Why are we afraid? Exactly. You guys, I don't know why you're not answering. You guys have hit every question right. I don't even know why I'm here. You're smarter than me. They are. I'm feeling dumb now. You are afraid to ask questions because you don't want to offend anybody. Nobody ever wants to offend anybody by asking them something personal. But unless you ask them something personal, you might never know what will offend them. If you ask somebody a question that's out of bounds, all they can say is, I don't want to answer that. I mean, what's the most offensive question you could ask somebody? Think about it. Just think for a second. Honestly, men, this one's for you. What's the most offensive question you can ask a woman? That you'd never ask a woman. In fact, I'm going to pick on my brother because he did this just the other day.
I'm thinking about it.
You thinking about it? What this question is?
Ask the age.
Yeah, that's easy though. Come on, this was worse. No, he screwed up bigger than that. What's worse than asking a woman her age? There you go! Who said that? Oh, this gets the fist bump. You get the fist bump on that one. Are you pregnant? Brian, was she pregnant?
No.
There we go!
$100 bottle of wine.
Yes, it did. Okay. I had a question for Dr. Pena on the way here, and I prefaced it. I said this is a really stupid question. And he said there are no stupid questions. You know what? There are. That was it. But honestly, when we talk about people and we talk about communication and we talk about getting to know people, what we have to understand is people are okay with being asked questions. In fact, cultural questions are the greatest questions to ask. Everybody I've talked to here in Puerto Rico, I've asked them questions. What do you think of us? What do you think? Hold on, what's my word? Estados Unidos? What do you think of them? What do you think of those people? And it's a trick question. They stare at us for a while. And finally I make them feel comfortable. And then they start telling me. Tell me from your perspective. You live here on the island. What do you think of non-islanders? What do you think of them? And it's amazing how much I've learned in a few days of what the perspective is of Puerto Ricans of people that are not from Puerto Rico. And it's been very interesting. You think it would be a hot button. We've asked politics. We've asked religion questions. We've asked a ton of questions. And you think these are all the stuff you're not supposed to talk about. And we've had nothing but luck. Because there's something built in us that's called pride of where we're from. Everyone has it. You're proud of where you're from. And if you ask somebody about it, they are going to want to share that pride with you. I was in a taxi in Paris. And has anybody heard any stereotypes of French people? Any French people in here? Anybody here from France? Nobody's from France? All right. Has anybody ever heard a stereotype of French people?
They don't shower.
That's not the one I'm going for, and you got already screwed up with the pregnant question, so stop. What is a stereotype we've heard of French people? This is a safe place. You can say it. I don't know anybody who's French, so we're okay. And he's recording it, so we're really in trouble. What have we heard? You're from New York. You've been around. You know stuff. What do we know of French people? What? You want to say the word rude, but you don't want to say it.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I can read it in your eyes. So, we hear that French are rude. In fact, when you're from South Dakota and you go to France, you really hear that they don't like Americans. And so everyone's warning me about this. And I'm sitting in a taxi cab, And he was holding up the stereotype. I'd been in that taxi for a half hour. He didn't say 2 words to me. He didn't want nothing to do with me. We're driving and we're in the worst traffic. You think this is bad? No, Paris stopped everywhere. We're sitting in traffic, and I have another hour to go in this car with this guy, and he's not saying 2 words to me. And we're sitting there, and we drive past this huge stadium. Just this huge stadium. And I go, football stadium? And of course, in Europe, football is what? And in where I'm from, football is the right stuff. The right game. It's the right one, okay? Where I'm from, it's right. Where they're from, it's wrong. Okay, that's terrible. That was the worst thing I could say. But no, I said, he goes, that's not football stadium, that's soccer. And I said, that's what I meant. I said, I love European soccer. I said, Real Madrid, Celtic, Manchester United. I said, I love European soccer. In fact, this was in 2012, Euro 212 was going on, and we were going to go see some games, all this stuff. And all of a sudden, I'm not kidding, all of a sudden out of nowhere, I'll be him. You drive. You love football? Oh my God, he tore his shirt off and he had on his France shirt. He's like, who are you voting for? His arm went around me. Who you rooting for? Well, I'm stuck in your cab. I'm going to say France. Oh, we got to go out to dinner. We got to talk about this. He took the long way to the hotel and would not stop talking. I hit on a cultural piece. Who you rooting for? Well, I'm stuck in your cab. I'm going to say France. Oh, we got to go out to dinner. We got to talk about this. He took the long way to the hotel and would not stop talking. I hit on a cultural piece of pride. He was very proud of his soccer team, which, by the way, they lost right away. Went nowhere. They sucked that year. So I'm glad I never saw him again. But I hit on a piece of cultural pride about himself. We're driving down the road, and he goes, I normally don't tell this to people. Don't go in that neighborhood. Don't go in that neighborhood. You can go in that neighborhood. You're safe in that. He's now giving me advice on where to go, where to eat, who to see, what to do. Carried my luggage up for me. He was my best friend because I did what you just said. I asked a question. One question. I asked him. I hit that spot. What do you like about here? Where are you from? What do you like? What's here? Like my favorite question is where do you like to eat? I always ask wherever I go in the world. I'll ask somebody. I was in Jinan, China, and I had a student in front of me. She was my tour guide. If you know anything about China, nobody speaks English. Not at all. It's not even remotely thought of. And so this college students are starting to speak English. They're doing a lot of study abroads in English-speaking countries, so they're learning it. But we're talking 1 million billionth of the population can speak it. You get lost in China, good luck. You're just gone. Never find you again. So I have this student with me. She's doing all my translating for me. She's doing everything. And she has a list of places I can go and stuff like that. And we're standing in this market. And I looked at her and I go, I'm hungry. And she's like, where do you want to eat? And I said, no. Where do you want to eat? She went like this. Where do I want to eat? What do you mean, where do I want to eat? I said, you pick the restaurant, not on the list, not pre-designed. Take me to your favorite restaurant. I had a new best friend. We sat in that restaurant and she told me everything you'd ever want to know about China, about her past, about her family, about everything. Up until that moment, I was getting the Communist Party line. And they were telling me exactly what, she had a script, exactly what she's supposed to tell me. Boy, we got into that restaurant, boom. What was that? I offended the gods. So, when we go back to interpersonal communication and cultural diversity, we get down to the basic conversation. You guys have all taken communication classes, you know, sender, receiver, message, all that other stuff. All makes sense to you? The only thing that you want to add in there are two people. Not a sender, receiver, but two people having a conversation. That's what it comes down to. You want to be successful in business? One of the things you do is just talk to people. Ask them questions. Now let's go back to this offending. Because you know what? You can offend people. People get offended. I say stupid stuff all the time, and inadvertently, boy, if I get hit by lightning, somebody record it, because that would be really cool. This thing? Your university's haunted. I find. But when we talk about offending people, which is easy to do, because you don't know what offends people. You don't know where people's passions lie, where their experience lies. You don't know this. So you're right. You should always have the fear of offending in your questions. But I'm going to give you a little secret. Do you know the difference between intent and impact? Have we got it on that road? Intent and impact. That's the answer. Yep. What is intent? It's not fact. That one? No, what's single for? Fine, there we go. I'm getting there. What is intent? Who haven't I picked a dress for? Can't wear a shirt that I can recognize, then I can pick on. What is intent? What does it mean, your intent? You don't know? To do it with a purpose. She saved you. You owed her something. To do it with a purpose. Intent is what you plan to do. Okay, you know what impact means? What am I going to say? This guy has a really bright shirt on. I'm going to wear a really bright shirt. I'm going to see you with the collar on you. What is it? What does impact mean? Exactly. What happened? The results of what you intended to do is your impact. I'm going to give you a secret. Keep this one forever. If your intent is good, regardless of the impact, you'll be okay. You walk up to somebody, and I'm sorry, Brian, we're just going to run this one down. You go up to somebody and you ask when the baby's due. You were genuinely trying to be sincere, weren't you? You thought it was a caring concern. She's a friend of yours. You know her. Thought you'd ask. His intent was good. Was your impact good? No. Impact is bad. But because his intent was good, it was savable. In communication, that is a savable moment. I'm sorry, I did not. Boy, that dress is terrible. You're so pregnant, I wouldn't wear it again. But intent good, impact bad. Now, if your intent is bad and your impact is bad, good for you. You did exactly what you set out to do, and you offended somebody. You did it on purpose. You achieved your goal. You don't deserve to talk to me. That's pretty much what you have to think about. Now, if your intent is good, your impact is good, yay. Your intent is good and your impact is bad, savable. Your intent is bad, your impact is bad, you got some problems. You're now on purposely trying to put yourself in an offensive position. Now, if your intent was bad and the impact was good, leave wherever you are because you're both going to jail at some point. That's not good. But what you have to understand is when we deal with people, you have to deal with people based on what you know, your preconceived notions, what you know about people. Then you have to match that to what you see, and then you have to talk to them and find out what you can learn. The more you do this, the more engaged you will become, and the more we can start dropping racial, prejudicial walls that don't need to exist. And I say this because it can be achieved. And it can be achieved through just a few small things. First is caring. You guys don't care. If you care about people, your intent is going to be good. So care. If you want to know about somebody's culture, and you seriously want to know, that sincerity will come out in your questions. I'm not kidding. Every restaurant we've been to, we've had the servers come talk to us, and they come up, and they're looking at us like two heavy white guys from up north, and they want to just serve us and get us out of there. And then all of a sudden, my brother and I just say, "What do you think? What do you think?" Same question. What do you think of Puerto Rico? What do you think of us? Honestly, the bartender last night. We weren't in a bar. Don't get me wrong. There was no alcohol involved. The bartender last night. We asked him, "What do you think of us?" Now you got to remember, this is at a hotel. His whole job is based on what he thinks of the customers. We all come from the same place I came from. So he started shaking. And we're like, "No, seriously. What do you think of us?" And he did exactly what I did when he asked me that question. And finally, we said to him, "No, seriously. Our job is in cultural diversity. We deal with people all day long. We're actually just curious." It's off the record. You should have seen the wall. You know, people have a wall around them that don't look at me, don't talk to me, I'm in my own world. That wall dropped. It just came crashing down. And he kind of leaned on the bar, and he just let loose what he thought. And we were laughing, and we were talking, and probably he was supposed to close, and he didn't. He kept running, yeah.
No, it was last night. Nobody's ever asked him that question.
Nobody's ever asked him that question. Because nobody cares. Tourists come down here, what do they want to do? They want to jog, I think. I swear to God, everybody down here is jogging. Why? Where are you going? Why do you have to get there so fast? Drive. It's easier. Better for your knees. I'm lazy. It all just kind of rolls together. But they come down here to take care of themselves. Does that make sense? Why do you go on vacation? Why did you go to New York?
Why did I go to New York? That's fun.
For you! It was all about you, wasn't it? You're like, me! Me in the big city! Was that you?
Yeah.
Me and R2-D2 lunchbox! We are going to the Statue of Liberty! That was you, wasn't it? We saw you. We're following you. It was funny. She really did that. You ever seen the movie Titanic? Yeah, she was on the front of the ship. I'm King Queen of New York! It's all about me. That's why people go on vacation. They go on vacation for me time. Me time. That's not why you, educated, intelligent people, travel. We, us, the good ones, we're the good ones, aren't we? We travel for them. We carry pride. We carry our flag. I'm wearing my red, white, and blue flag on me everywhere I go. I'm from the United States. Carry that flag. You notice I don't say I'm American?
He did once.
I did once. That was by accident. Thanks. Why don't I refer to myself as an American? Anybody know? You understand? What? It is, isn't it? Isn't there a North America? Isn't there a South America? Isn't there one in the middle? Central America? West America? Right America? We're all Americans. We're all kind of, anybody who lives anywhere on a piece of dirt somewhere that on this side of the hemisphere somehow is attached to an American. So I'm from the United States. I carry that with me where I go. Everywhere I go, people see me and they're like, oh. In fact, in Europe, they play spot the American game. They do. The guy in the cowboy boots and the hat yelling at everybody. I want to be served first. But I carry that with me, my pride. And I'm very proud of where I'm from. And I think everybody, I've never really met a person that isn't proud of where they're from. In fact, when you're in the United States, nobody's from there, are they? Unless you're a Native American, you're not really from there. You came from somewhere else. And they carry that with pride. We have that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Carry that pride. Share that pride. In fact, the more we share that pride, I think the better off we all get along. Share it. Be proud of it. And ask other people about their pride. When you go on vacation, when you go somewhere, ask people. In fact, you travel for a living, Brian. What's the first thing you ask when you get to any city, anywhere?
Where you from?
Well, when you get there, go back to food. What's the first thing you ask?
What's your favorite restaurant? I don't need to change restaurants so you guys know. So we always ask the local, every hotel I've ever stayed at, what is your favorite restaurant? In fact, I've had people join me as their favorite restaurant.
Yeah. You guys know the rule in Mexico, don't you? Who here's been to Mexico? Don't drink tap water, you're right. What's the rule in Mexico? Oh yeah, that's a good rule to follow. But, the rule in Mexico, you don't eat where the white people eat. Because they're not the locals. What's that?
Tourist trap.
Tourist trap! Overpriced, terrible food. You eat. Actually, you know the best rule in the world? This rule works anywhere on earth. You know where you eat? Where the cops eat. One, it's safe. And two, they're local. They know the good food. Do cops know where to find food? Really? I don't care where you are in the world. Cops know where to find good food. You see a cop in a restaurant? On food. Find a restaurant. We would have no boards. We all met in restaurants. Everybody went to another country and met in a restaurant. You cannot fight somebody over an amazing appetizer, can you? Tapas? That was tapas. You wouldn't fight over tapas, but you might fight over who's paying for it. So it's not to fight over. Any questions?
What have you eaten here?
What?
What have you eaten here?
Brian has ordered all of my food because I can't read the menus, because I'm ignorant. But, what did we eat, Brian?
We ate at Serafina's and had the best seafood. We eat at seafood. We get a chance with Serafina's. We ate in a little place called Tora Solia. Is it now? It's a tapas restaurant. He's never been to a tapas restaurant in his life. And we ate at this little thing down in Old San Juan. And we looked at the waiter and said, pick them and bring them. And he did. He brought this whole, I think he had like 9 plates, 10 plates, something like that. And every one of them were amazing. But we did not have any, our thought of the whole process was, he knew better than us. And it was amazing. And actually, he asked us every time we had a plate what our thoughts were. And he hit it on the mark. It was awesome. Last night I had a bowl of pork with onions and green peppers and rice and beans. I don't